Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of Manifesting Muslimah. I'm your host Zara Pedersen, and today's topic is a really interesting one, and I know that there's so many of you who are wanting me to talk more on this subject. I've already spoken at length about this subject over on my TikTok. If you don't follow me there, what are you waiting for? At Manifesting Muslimah, go find me. I do regular lives over there and answer a ton of questions in my videos, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how you can manifest a marriage, manifesting a relationship, manifesting a husband. And this is such a popular topic. There are loads of you out there who want to get married, and for good reason. I understand it. Don't we all really just want to meet somebody who we can love and who can love us back and we can be in a partnership with? And there's also, I'm just going to say it the way it is, but like there's the romance and feeling the need to be intimate with someone and being loved in that way. It's absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about it, because it is not impossible to attract either a relationship, a partner, or a beautiful marriage. But there are ways to do it, and there are also ways not to do it. So let's talk about it. So the first thing that I want to say on this subject is it is absolutely possible with the use of the law of attraction and making your du'as to Allah to attract a marriage into your life. That is 100% within the realm of reality when we're talking about the law of attraction. But there is a caveat, and the caveat is that you can't manifest marriage with one specific person. You have to be polyamorous. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what it is. But it kind of sounded like that. No, it means that you can't make a wish for it to be one specific person that you have in mind. So you can't say, you know what, and I'm going to use the name that I've been using so far in every video that I've made. You can't say, I really feel like I'm in love with David over there. David and I would make a beautiful couple. We'd be so cute together. Oh my God, could you imagine, right? You can't then say, Ya Rab, I want to manifest David to be my husband. I mean, listen, there's no wrong way of making a dua. So of course you can ask Allah for it. But it's not a dua that can be answered specifically as other law of attraction duas can, because we cannot manifest against another person's free will. So David, just like you, has his free will. He is created in a way by Allah, just like you are, where he is able to make decisions for himself, who he wants to be with, what career he wants in life, whether or not he chooses to be Muslim, and what pair of underwear he wears, from the little things to the big things. And because the law of attraction is not black magic or some type of magic in general, it doesn't work in like changing people. It doesn't do that. It doesn't even change us unless we are willing to change ourselves to align ourselves with the thing that we're trying to manifest. So of course we can't pray that a specific person or attract a specific person into our life, because it goes against their free will. And there are good things about that, and there are bad things about that. I mean, obviously, the good thing is that we can feel safe in that we are not being manipulated with by other people by using the law of attraction and dua to do things that we might not otherwise have done. So that's the good thing. The bad thing is that when we're in love or smitten with someone and we are in a position where we feel like we'd be the perfect partner for them, then, it feels kind of hopeless in that we can't do anything to basically make them ours. And I know that also sounds really like villainous. I don't mean it to be villainous. I just mean it as in, we want to do what we can to make our own dreams come true and be with the people that we want to be with. But this is one of those places where you can't just specifically focus on one person. Again, there's nothing wrong with you asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please, Ya Rab, can it be David? Because that would really make me happy. The problem with it is, though, that you're limiting yourself, because David might not be the one. Like, listen, we all have a front, right? Like, we all signal one thing outside, and then behind closed doors, we get a little lazy, and or we might have certain attributes to us that are not that charming in real life. And you never know, David could be a sociopath, or he could be really disrespectful to his mum, or something completely different that you don't know of. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just trying to protect you and be like, listen, sis, this is not the one for you, okay? So let's not shoot ourselves in the foot when we're trying to manifest and be so specific with love, and that we're literally honing in on one person when there could be a different person out there that would be even better for us. Okay, so now that we've sort of gotten out of the way what you definitely cannot do, which is to manifest one specific person into your life because it goes against their free will, let's look at what you can use the law of attraction for when it comes to manifesting a partnership or a marriage or a husband or a wife if you're a guy listening. So here's the thing. You can manifest the attributes of the person that you have in mind. So again, let's take David, and I am massively in love with David and I want him to be my husband, but I know that I can't manifest David specifically because David has to choose me himself. But what I can do is look at David and say, well, he's got a really strong jawline and I love that. So, there has to be some type of physical attraction as well. There's nothing wrong with also wanting that, right? So saying he's got the physicalities of how he's built. That was a really weird way of saying, he's hot. he makes something come alive inside of me when I look at him, and that's cool. Like, I want him to look a specific way. Cool. Another thing you can do when you've done like the superficial things, you can look at, well, I love the way that the work that he does and his ambition. I'm attracted to him because he's generous with people. I like him because he's friendly to people. Or there could be a number of things that you're looking at David thinking, this is what I want. These are the attributes that he has that is making me feel attracted to him. And sometimes, of course, it's also just because, we'll look at a picture of, I'm trying to think of like a non-toxic celebrity, but can't even remember anybody at this point, but any male celebrity who's just hot, and we make something up in our mind, some thinking that, oh, this is definitely the way that this person is. So now I'm madly in love. Like, we can get smitten by people without even knowing anything about them. Okay. So try and think of the things that are making you feel that way about that person, and then focus on those attributes and manifest those attributes into your life. Okay. So that's how you can manifest a partner that has the personality or the attributes or whatever it might be that it is that you're attracted to. So you're opening it up, because I bet you there's many more men just like David out there who has the same attributes but who is interested in you. Like, listen, also, let's be real, if David hasn't looked your way, sis, maybe David's a bitch, like maybe he's not the one. Like, he should be chasing you. Why are you chasing him for? I'm just saying, sprinkle. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not the sprinkle lady. Sorry, but you know what I mean. So maybe focus on somebody who will give you the time of day, right? So focus on those things, and not just focus on those things, align with those attributes. So if it's that you find that he's outgoing and he's generous and these things, try and align yourself with those vibrations of being outgoing and generous and whatever else it is that you might have focused on with that person. And then, because with the law of attraction, we know that like attracts like. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So you have to align yourself with those attributes yourself, and then you'll attract that back into your life through other people. And in those people, one of them might very well become your husband, right? So start working on those traits yourself so that you can start attracting people with those traits into your life. The next point that you can do is focusing on, if there's not like a specific person that you have in mind necessarily, but you do know that you want to get married, but you haven't necessarily met somebody yet that you're like, oh, that's the person that I want. What you then can do is think of the marriage that you want. What is it specifically in the marriage that you're looking for? And that could be a number of things. Again, it could be the support financially or otherwise, emotionally. It could be because you want to start a family, you would like to have children. It could be because you're looking for someone to pray with. You're hoping that somebody can help elevate you in your business. Something, I don't know, it could be anything, right? So focus on those things, and again, align yourself with that. Make yourself ready, make the space ready, and live as if it's already there, right? When it comes to the law of attraction, you'll probably have heard a lot of people like, oh, just pretend, live as if it's already happened. And living as if it's already happened means aligning yourself with the thing. It means making the space for it so that it's easier for it to come in. If you're looking for a partner to come in and be very romantic with you and take you out and whatever, you also have to signal that you're looking for the kind of relationship where you have the availability to come out. And that doesn't mean that you'll sit at home waiting for anything, but it shows that you're already going out, you're already dressing up, you're already, aligning yourself with that lifestyle that you're hoping to get in a partner. And that could be going out with your girlfriends. It could be that you're booking a holiday for yourself or your family, doing the things that you would also do with a husband. You don't have to wait for him to come in before you start living that life. Okay, align your finances. If it's like that, you're also looking for that financial support. Align your finances so that it'll be easier for someone to come in and align their finances with you. Make it easy for someone to come into your life. So look at what it is in the marriage that you want and align yourself with those values. No, you're not going to be able to cuddle up at night with someone if there's literally not a person there. But, you can make sure that your nighttime routine is, again, inviting another person in, making the space for another person in that nighttime routine. So looking at those things, it's the little things and it's the little actions that we take that accumulatively give us these big results. Also, I need you to also understand that while you're making the dua to Allah, so you're sitting down and you say, Ya Rab, the Almighty, the giver of dreams, I want to be married. And then a week passes and you still haven't met someone. And so you sit down and you make the dua again. And then another month passes and then you said, okay, well, he's really taking his time up there. Maybe he's busy. I should say it again. Maybe he didn't hear me. And it continues that way. And on your second year, on your third year, on your fifth year, you're still asking for this marriage. Okay. Here's the thing. And this can be a really hard pill to swallow. And I fully respect and understand that. But your dua has already been heard and it has already been answered. But we cannot rush Allah's timing. We cannot interfere with his timing, and we should, at the best of our ability, try not to interfere or interject our timeline into his timeline, because our timeline is flawed. His is not. Our plan is flawed. His is not. So when we've said the dua, it's not that you're not allowed to say the dua again. It's not that you're not allowed to repeat yourself to Allah. You can absolutely do that. There's nothing wrong with this. But when you're doing it, surrender it every single time back to Allah. Surrender it knowing that it has been heard. You're allowed to say it again, but it has already been heard. It has already been answered. You can come in just to say, hey, by the way, I do still have this dream. It hasn't changed, or maybe some things have changed. Actually, how last time I said I want him to be generous? Well, I don't want him to be too generous, because there is such a thing as being too generous. Like, he has to be able to put his foot down from time to time. The dream can change ever so slightly, right? So go in, feel free to adjust in that dua if there's a need to adjust. Make sure that you're, reminding yourself as well of the values and the things that you're asking Allah for, setting your intentions, aligning your intention with what it is that you want in the marriage that's going to align you to your Islamic principles as well. But reminding yourself, that's fine, but continuously surrender it back to Allah, and know that if it hasn't happened yet, it's not because he doesn't want to give it to you. It's because it's not the time. And again, I know that's a hard pill to swallow for some, but it's the truth. It's that you're not ready for it, or the guy that he's got in mind is not ready for it yet. It could be that you need to elevate yourself on certain levels before you can meet the person and then actually stay in that relationship. You can 100% rush this. You can. And this is why I say try not to interject your timeline too much, because if you start getting too desperate, you'll start rushing it. And this is where I would say most women end up in marriages that aren't beneficial for them, and they end up getting divorced again because they're trying to rush their timeline into something that wasn't meant to be. Listen, let's be real, sis. You're beautiful. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. You're beautiful. I know this. I can feel your energy from here. I don't even know where you are in the world, but I know, hands down, you are absolutely gorgeous and you are so beautiful. Okay. If you go out tomorrow, you could find 5 men easily who'd marry you. Who would? That's just easy. For women, it is so easy to find a husband. But we have standards, right? And you want to make sure that those standards are met. So while you can go out tomorrow and find 5 men who'd probably be willing to marry you on the spot, live up to the standards as well. You're like, come on, like, I'm also asking for something. I don't just want any random Joe walking into the door and being like, hi, I'm here to get married. Because that's not how it works. You want something more from it. There has to be something better in it as well, right? There has to be something that can help you and him elevate. And there has to be a connection. So it's not about, the dua hasn't been heard, because it's coming. It's on the way. Don't rush yourself. Don't start getting desperate. Don't lose hope. This is probably the hardest thing when it comes to our duas and the law of attraction, is the patience aspect. This is the last aspect, because this is where we're surrendering to his timeline and his plan, knowing full well that dua is the thing that changes our qadr, our destiny. We're then surrendering it back to him and saying, I know it's already changed, because this is a promise you have made us, Ya Rab, in the Quran several times, that when I call you answer. Okay, so you know that this is a promise from Allah. Allah doesn't break promises. He's not like us. Okay, so it has already been answered. Now you need to sit back and trust that it's on its way and it'll come in the right time. And sometimes, it's going to take a little bit longer, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. Okay. Lastly, well, actually, there's one more thing. I'm just going to stay on, because there's one more thing I just want to say on this last little topic. Okay. And that is that you cannot actively be in faith that it is coming and also be constantly aware that it hasn't come yet. Those are two very opposite energies. One, be in faith that it's coming, is in an abundance mindset. It's in that it's happened already. You're grateful for it. You know it's going to come. There's a lot of faith. There's a lot of trust. And in the not noticing that it still hasn't arrived, there's a lot of lack. Why is it not here? Something must be wrong. Oh, am I even going to get it? Am I worthy? So all of these negative thoughts start coming in and creeping in. So either you make the dua and you surrender it to Allah and trust in his plan, or you make the dua and then you're trying to micromanage when it happens and you keep worrying about why it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so allow that moment as well afterwards. And it happens from time to time, but as long as you call yourself out, remind yourself to bring yourself back to faith and trust in Allah. Not in yourself and your own abilities, because we're flawed as humans, but Allah doesn't forget. He's not about to forget you or not hear you. Okay, so that was just like a quick little point I wanted to make to that one as well. And now, finally, the biggest component to the law of attraction and your du'as. Allah says to us, if you are grateful, I will give you more. If you are grateful, I will give you more. Now, I know this is hard, but find gratitude while you're still single. And so you don't have to find gratitude necessarily in being single, but you can find gratitude in the rest of your life. So while you don't have a husband, there are probably a million other things in your life that you can be grateful for at the same time. You don't have to show gratitude in the thing that you feel like you still don't have. It could be anything. You can be grateful for absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be around marriage. If you don't feel grateful there because you don't have a husband, feel grateful for other things. I have a great job. I've got a supportive family. I have a beautiful friendship with these people, whatever it might be. But be grateful for the things that you have while you're waiting for the blessing of marriage and a partner to come into your life. And I'm just going to say this. Listen, as a divorced woman to a single woman, I don't know if you've been divorced before or not, but listen, there are many beautiful things about being single as well. So I just feel like I got to say it, okay? Because life looks very different once you're married. There are a lot of things that you'll have to compromise on. And a lot of it is beautiful, but some of it, you know what? Sometimes marriage is not beautiful. Sometimes it's hardship. Sometimes it's, supporting your partner when things don't go great. There's a lot of things in marriage. And when you're single, you don't have to worry about that. You just have to worry about yourself. So just also remember that even if your ultimate goal is to get married and have a family, enjoy the moments of silence. Enjoy the moments when you only have to do your own laundry. Enjoy the moments when, you put something down somewhere and then you come back the next day and it is still there. Nobody has moved it. Enjoy the fact that you don't have to find the ketchup in the fridge for your husband because it's right in front of him and he still can't see it. You know what? Anyway, I think I'm funny. So those are the things that I want to say. You can absolutely manifest a husband into your life. Don't limit yourself though when you're asking for a husband, and make sure that you're constantly aligning yourself and making space for the relationship, because a lot of us still will say we want a husband and then we're not making space for it, or we're not preparing our lives for it, meaning that when the person eventually comes in, or any person comes in which is not ready, we're not ready and we're finding it very stressful. Well, then I have to move and oh my God, and make space for things. And even if it's not the physical space you're making, you can make it mentally as well. If you don't have necessarily any physical space to make, whether it be in your finances or in your living situation or your job or whatever, make it in your mindset, make it in the routines, make it in how you're thinking about relationships and how you value yourself and how you want other people to value you. Because ultimately, because the law of attraction states like attracts like, the way that you think about yourself and the way that you love yourself is ultimately how your husband's going to love you. So really start working on that self-love so that when you attract this person into your life, you're being loved in the exact way that you need and deserve to be loved. Right, another long episode. I don't know how to keep these short, but I hope there was something beneficial for you in this episode. If you have any questions or if you've got suggestions for episodes for the podcast or anything in general, feedback, just whatever, feel free to reach out to me over on TikTok or Instagram at Manifesting Muslima. I have started posting a little bit on Facebook again, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not super active over there. But over there, I'm at Zara Pedersen. So if you want to reach out, feel free. And one thing that I haven't said so far in any of my episodes, but I know that you know this, but it does help greatly if you're enjoying this podcast, if you can share it with somebody around you or on your socials. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, because that's fine if you don't, leave a review would be very, very helpful as well, especially to potential future listeners so that they know what to expect from this. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you here. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, whatever it is that you're up to. And until next time, my darling friend, please don't forget to live in love.